The invitation to comfort. Make yourself comfortable, go ahead. Adjust your pillow, let your shoulders drop. Take a slow, gentle breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Because tonight I'm going to take you on a journey, a calm, soothing exploration through one of the most brilliant minds in animation history. Not a superhero, not a warrior, not some overpowered anime character, but a small, clever, 3-inch tall mouse named Jerry. This isn't going to be fast-paced, this isn't going to be loud or chaotic or filled with quick cuts and flashing images. This is a soft, relaxing dive into the genius of Tom and Jerry, a show that defined our childhoods, that made us laugh until our sides hurt, and that taught us, without us even realizing it, that intelligence always beats brute force. So settle in. Let the world outside fade away for the next little while. Turn down the lights if you want. Get cozy under a blanket. And let me guide you through every single trick Jerry ever pulled. Ranked carefully, thoughtfully, from smart to absolute genius. You might think Tom and Jerry is just chaos. Just slapstick violence. Just a cat chasing a mouse with hammers, dynamite, anvils, and whatever household object happens to be nearby. But when you slow it down, when you really watch it with calm, thoughtful, analytical eyes, you start to see something extraordinary. Jerry isn't lucky. He's not stumbling into victories by accident. He's not winning because the writers favor him. He's planning his victories. He's reading Tom's every move before Tom even makes it. He's turning entire rooms, entire houses, entire environments into tactical battlegrounds where every object becomes a weapon, every corner becomes cover, every shadow becomes an escape route. And tonight we're going to break it all down. We're going to start with his simplest tricks, the foundational moves that kept him alive in those early episodes when he was just learning how to survive. Then we'll explore his mid-tier strategies, the ones that required planning, timing, spatial awareness, and a deep understanding of physics. And finally, we'll arrive at his legendary moments, the tricks so brilliant, so impossibly clever, so perfectly executed that they've become iconic in animation history. The moments that fans still talk about decades later. This is a celebration, a tribute, a peaceful meditation on cartoon genius. So breathe deeply, relax your mind, let your thoughts drift like clouds across a calm sky. And let's begin this journey together. Because Jerry Mouse isn't just a character, he's not just comic relief or a cute mascot, he's a masterclass in survival, a tactician operating in a world of chaos. A tiny philosopher of motion, momentum, mischief, and strategic thinking. And by the end of this video, you'll see him in a completely new light. You'll understand why he's not just clever, he's one of the smartest characters ever animated. Smarter than most human characters. Smarter than characters with PhDs and laboratories and supercomputers, because Jerry has something they don't. Pure, unfiltered survival intelligence. So let's take our time. Let's move slowly and deliberately through this ranking. Let's savor every trick, every moment, every genius decision Jerry ever made, and let's rank them from smart to genius. Are you ready? Then close your eyes for just a moment. Picture that classic Tom and Jerry living room, the yellow walls, the comfortable furniture, the sense of warmth and nostalgia. And now, let the ranking begin. Part 1. The Foundation. Simple, smart moves. Before Jerry became a legend, before he started building elaborate contraptions and manipulating Tom's emotions, he had to master the basics. These are the tricks that don't require elaborate planning. They're instinctive, reactive, born from pure survival instinct. The kind of quick thinking that keeps you alive when a predator is inches away from your tail, when you have milliseconds to make a decision that determines whether you live or get caught. Let's start at the very beginning with the tricks that laid the foundation for everything else. 1. The classic object swap. Redirecting momentum. This is Jerry's bread and butter, his most fundamental trick, and it appears in almost every single episode. Here's how it works. Tom lunges at Jerry, claws extended, teeth bared, eyes wild with predatory focus. His entire body is committed to the attack, every muscle tensed, every instinct firing. And Jerry, at the absolute last possible second, steps aside. Just one small step. Maybe 6 inches to the left or right. And Tom's momentum, all that speed, all that force, all that commitment, carries him forward into whatever object Jerry was standing in front of. A frying pan, a brick wall, a cast iron stove, a door frame, a rolling pin, a grandfather clock. The impact is devastating. Tom sees stars. Birds circle his head. His face is imprinted with the shape of whatever he hit. And Jerry? Jerry's perfectly fine. Not a scratch. Not even breathing hard. This trick works because Jerry understands one fundamental truth about physics. Momentum is a weapon. Tom is fast. Tom is strong. Tom is athletic and capable, and possesses incredible reflexes for a cat. But Tom is also reckless. He commits fully to every attack. He doesn't leave himself an escape route. He doesn't plan for what happens if he misses. And Jerry knows this. Jerry has studied Tom's attack patterns. He knows exactly how Tom moves. He knows that once Tom starts moving, once that momentum builds, Tom cannot stop. So Jerry doesn't need to be faster than Tom. He doesn't need to be stronger. He just needs to be smarter about when to move and where to position himself. This is the foundation of all Jerry's tricks. Timing over speed, intelligence over strength, precision over power. Smart rank. It's clever, it's effective, it's saved right. Jerry's life hundreds of times, but it's not. Genius. Not yet, it's just the beginning. 2. Hiding in plain sight. Mastering scale and perspective. Jerry is a master of camouflage, not because he changes color like a chameleon, not because he has any special powers, but because he understands something most prey animals never learn: scale and perspective. He hides inside teapots, curling his body into an impossibly small ball. He tucks himself behind books on shelves, becoming invisible from Tom's eye level. He slips under rugs, creating just a tiny bump that Tom never notices. He ducks inside vases, inside cookie jars, inside desk drawers. Sometimes he even hides inside Tom's own fur, blending into the stripes and shadows of Tom's coat, literally using his predator as camouflage. This requires incredible spatial awareness. Jerry has to know in real time where Tom is looking, which direction his eyes are focused, what objects are nearby, inventory of hiding spots, how to position himself so he's invisible from Tom's specific angle, how to stay completely still, because movement attracts attention, when to move again, timing his escape for when Tom looks away. It's not flashy, it's not dramatic, it doesn't involve explosions or elaborate contraptions, but it's intelligent. It shows that Jerry understands something sophisticated. Perception is reality. If Tom can't see him, he might as well not exist. Smart rank. Jerry is no longer just reacting to immediate danger, he's thinking one step ahead. He's considering Tom's perspective, not just his own. 3. Using Tom's own traps against him, the art of redirection. Tom loves setting traps. He's obsessed with them. He spends hours designing elaborate Rube Goldberg-style contraptions with springs, levers, pulleys, nets, cages, and explosives. Some of these traps are genuinely brilliant. They show real engineering knowledge. If they worked as intended, Jerry would be caught instantly. But here's the thing. They never work. Jerry rarely gets caught in Tom's traps. Why? Because Jerry doesn't just avoid them. He studies them. When Tom sets up a new trap, Jerry doesn't panic. He doesn't run immediately. He watches, he analyzes, he traces the mechanism with his eyes, following every connection, every trigger point, every failsafe. And then, at the perfect moment, he makes one tiny adjustment. He taps one single piece of the mechanism. One spring, one lever, one trigger, and the entire trap, this elaborate contraption that took Tom hours to build, collapses on Tom instead. The net catches Tom. The cage drops on Tom. The spring launches Tom. The explosives detonate under Tom. This is where Jerry stops being a survivor and starts becoming a tactician. He's not just avoiding danger, he's redirecting it. He's turning Tom's own intelligence against him. Smart rank. Simple in execution, but it requires deep understanding. The beginning of Jerry's strategic evolution. 4. The distraction technique, exploiting attention. Sometimes Jerry doesn't need to fight. He doesn't need to hide. He doesn't need to spring a trap. He just needs to buy time. Just 3 seconds. Just long enough to reach his mouse hole. So he creates a distraction. He throws a ball across the room, drops a book from a shelf, knocks over a vase, rings a bell, makes a noise in the opposite direction, and Tom, instinctively, automatically, looks toward the sound. It's a reflex. Cats are hardwired to notice sudden movements and unexpected sounds. It's part of their predatory programming. And in that 1 second where Tom's attention is diverted, where his head turns and his eyes focus on the noise, Jerry escapes. He sprints to safety, slips through his mouse hole, disappears into the walls. By the time Tom realizes it was a trick, Jerry is gone. This technique shows that Jerry understands something fundamental about attention. You can only focus on one thing at a time. Tom's senses are sharp, but they're not omniscient. If Jerry can control what Tom pays attention to, he controls the entire situation. Smart rank, not flashy, not complex, but undeniably clever, and it works almost every time. 5. The door slam. Weaponizing architecture doors are everywhere in Tom and Jerry's world, and Jerry has learned to use them as weapons. He'll run through a doorway with Tom close behind, and then slam! He shuts the door at the exact right moment. Tom crashes face first into solid wood, his nose flattens, his eyes cross. He staggers backward, dazed. Sometimes Jerry goes further. He'll slam the door multiple times, catching Tom's tail, then his paw, then his nose, creating a rhythm of pain. Other times, he'll use revolving doors, spinning Tom in circles until the cat is dizzy and disoriented. This trick requires perfect timing, slamming at the exact moment Tom reaches the threshold. Strength, doors are heavy and Jerry is small. Spatial awareness, knowing where Tom is without looking. Smart rank, Jerry is learning to use his environment. The house is no longer just a setting, it's an arsenal. Part 2. The Tactician. Mid-level strategy. Tricks. Now we enter the phase where Jerry stops merely reacting to danger and starts planning for it. These tricks require forethought. They require understanding the environment before the chase even begins. They require Jerry to think not just one move ahead, but 3 or 4 moves ahead. This is where Jerry becomes more than a mouse trying to survive. He becomes a strategist, a tactician, a commander fighting a war against an opponent who outweighs him 20-1. 6. The string and pulley method, remote control. Violence. One of Jerry's absolute favorite techniques is using string, thread, or rope to control objects from a distance. The setup is simple, but brilliant. While Tom is sleeping or distracted, Jerry ties a piece of string to an object. A hammer, a book, a drawer handle, a frying pan, a bucket of water. Sometimes even Tom's own tail or whiskers. Then Jerry hides, usually in a safe spot, with a clear line of sight, and waits. When Tom walks into position, Jerry pulls the string. Suddenly, a drawer slams shut on Tom's fingers, a hammer swings down like a pendulum and bonks him on the head, a chair slides out from under him, a door slams in his face, a bucket tips over and drenches him. Tom's own tail yanks him backward. This trick is brilliant because it requires multiple layers of intelligence. Mechanical understanding. Jerry needs to know how pulleys work, how tension works, how force travels through a string. He needs to calculate angles and leverage. Prediction. Jerry needs to know where Tom will be in 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. He needs to predict Tom's movement patterns. Timing. Jerry needs to pull at the exact right moment, too early, and Tom avoids the trap. Too late, and it misses entirely. Patience. Jerry needs to sit still and wait, sometimes for minutes, without moving or making noise. Jerry isn't just surviving anymore. He's engineering his victories. He's building systems that do the fighting for him. Smart rank. Jerry has officially entered tactician mode. He's not in the room anymore, but he's still in complete control. 7. Environmental control. Turning rooms into battlefields. Jerry doesn't just exist in a space, he owns it. Watch closely in any Tom and Jerry episode and you'll notice something remarkable. Jerry uses absolutely everything in his environment as a weapon or tool. Doors, already mentioned, but worth emphasizing. Jerry uses doors to slam, trap, redirect, and block. Rugs. Jerry will grab the edge of a rug and pull, sending Tom sliding across the room like he's on ice. Or he'll flip the rug up, creating a tent that blinds Tom temporarily. Marbles, scattered across the floor like tiny landmines. Tom steps on them, loses his balance, and goes sprawling. Furniture, sofas, tables, chairs, all become cover. Jerry ducks behind them, using them as shields. Sometimes he'll pull them into Tom's path, creating obstacles. Stairs. Jerry will lure Tom to the top of a staircase and then stop. Tom can't stop his momentum and tumbles all the way down. Windows. Jerry escapes through them. Or he tricks Tom into jumping through them, often when they're closed. Fireplaces. Jerry hides in them, uses them as shortcuts, or lures Tom into them, where hot coals wait. This proves something extraordinary. Jerry doesn't just think in moments, he thinks in space. He has a mental map of every room, he knows every corner, every angle, every object. And he's constantly calculating. If Tom comes from there, I can use this. If he's moving fast, I'll need that. It's like watching a chess grandmaster who sees the entire board at once. Smart rank. This is high-level spatial intelligence. Jerry has turned his home into a tactical advantage. The house itself fights on his side. 8. The fake-out move. Psychological manipulation. Begins. This is where Jerry starts to move beyond physical, tricks, and into psychological warfare. Sometimes Jerry doesn't hide. Sometimes he doesn't run. Sometimes he does the opposite of what Tom expects. He'll freeze in place, acting scared, acting helpless. He'll even walk slowly toward Tom, as if surrendering, as if accepting his fate. And Tom, confused by this unexpected behavior, hesitates. His predatory instincts tell him something is wrong. This isn't how prey behaves. Prey runs, prey hides, prey fights back. But prey doesn't walk calmly toward danger. So Tom pauses. He doubts. He wonders if this is a trick. And in that moment of doubt, that half second of confusion, Jerry darts away at full speed, leaving Tom grasping at empty air. This trick works because Jerry understands something sophisticated about psychology. Expectations create vulnerabilities. Tom expects Jerry to run. Tom's entire strategy is built around chasing. When Jerry doesn't run, Tom's strategy falls apart. Smart rank. Jerry is now manipulating Tom's expectations. He's fighting on a psychological level, not just a physical one. 9. Using sound as a weapon, auditory illusions. Jerry is a master of sound manipulation. Cats rely heavily on their hearing. Their ears can rotate independently, picking up the tiniest sounds. They can hear a mouse breathing from across a room. And Jerry knows this, so he exploits it. Technique 1. Mimicry. Jerry will mimic sounds that scare Tom. A dog's bark, sending Tom fleeing in terror. A human's footsteps, making Tom think his owner is coming. A car's horn, creating panic. Technique 2. Misdirection. Jerry will make a noise in one direction while moving in another, bang on pipes to create echoes, drop objects to make Tom think he's somewhere else, use his voice to throw Tom off the trail. Technique 3. Amplification. Jerry will use objects to amplify small sounds. Whisper into a megaphone. Tap on hollow objects. Use pipes as speaking tubes. This shows that Jerry doesn't just manipulate what Tom sees, he manipulates what Tom hears. He understands sensory warfare. Smart rank. Sensory manipulation. Another layer of Jerry's genius revealed. 10. The decoy strategy, creating false targets. Sometimes Jerry creates a decoy version of himself. He'll draw a mouse shape on a piece of paper, build a dummy mouse from socks and buttons, use shadows to create the illusion of his presence, place a mirror to show his reflection in the wrong location. Tom, seeing what looks like Jerry, attacks the decoy. And while Tom is busy destroying a fake mouse, the real Jerry escapes. This requires artistic skill, the decoy must look convincing. Understanding of Tom's perception, what will fool him. Speed, building the decoy quickly. Timing, deploying it at the right moment. Smart rank. Jerry is now creating illusions. He's bending reality itself to survive. Part 3. The engineer. Advanced mechanical tricks. Now, we arrive at perhaps the most impressive aspect of Jerry's genius, his engineering capabilities. These are the moments where Jerry builds machines, constructs elaborate traps, and uses physics in ways that frankly shouldn't be possible for a mouse who has no formal education, no tools, and paws instead of hands. But they are possible. Because Jerry is a genius. 11. Homemade catapults and lever systems. Siege warfare. In multiple episodes, Jerry constructs catapults from scratch using whatever materials he can find: wooden spoons, rubber bands, popsicle sticks, nails and thumbtacks, books as counterweights. And these aren't toy catapults. These aren't cute little contraptions that launch pebbles a few feet. These are functional siege weapons that launch objects, bowling balls, bricks, anvils, with terrifying accuracy over considerable distances. Jerry understands the physics of leverage, fulcrum placement, where to position the pivot point to maximize force counterweight calculation, how much weight is needed to launch specific objects, trajectory prediction, the arc an object will follow based on launch angle and force timing, when to release for maximum impact. This is mechanical engineering in real time, under pressure, while being chased by a cat. And it works. Every time. Genius rank. Jerry is now operating at inventor level intelligence. 12. Rube Goldberg. Chain reactions, orchestrating chaos. Some of Jerry's traps are so elaborate, so intricate, so impossibly complex that they take up entire rooms and involve dozens of steps. A typical Jerry Rube Goldberg trap might work like this. 1. Tom steps on a barely visible string. 2. Which pulls a lever on the other side of the room. 3. Which releases a ball bearing 4, which rolls down a wooden ramp. 5. Which hits a line of dominoes. 6. Which triggers a spring-loaded mousetrap, ironic. 7. Which launches a spoon. 8. Which hits a hanging pan. 9. Which swings into a shelf. 10. Which knocks over a bucket. 11. Which spills marbles onto the floor. 12. Which causes Tom to slip. 13. Which sends him sliding toward a precisely positioned rake. 14. Which pops up and hits him in the face. 15. Which causes him to stumble backward into a conveniently placed tub of water. Every single step works perfectly. No domino falls too early or too late. No ball rolls off course. No spring misfires. The entire sequence executes with mechanical precision. This requires physics mastery, understanding momentum, gravity, friction, elasticity, and angular momentum. Precision engineering. Every piece must be placed with millimeter accuracy. Vision, seeing the entire sequence in your mind before building it. Testing. Jerry must have practiced this or possesses intuitive understanding of physics, problem solving, adjusting for environmental factors like air currents and vibrations. Genius rank. Jerry is operating at professional engineer level intelligence. This is the kind of thinking that builds bridges and designs spacecraft. 13. Electrical engineering, harnessing household current. In some episodes, Jerry doesn't just use mechanical devices, he uses electricity. This is where things get genuinely dangerous and genuinely impressive. Jerry will wire up light switches, connecting them to metal objects so Tom gets shocked when he flips the switch. Connect metal objects to outlets, creating electric traps that deliver powerful shocks. Use static electricity, rubbing balloons to create charges. Short-circuit devices, causing sparks and explosions at strategic moments. Create electromagnetic fields, using coiled wire and batteries. This proves Jerry understands not just mechanical physics, but electrical engineering. He knows how current flows through circuits, the difference between conductors and insulators, how to create and control electrical charges, safety protocols. Jerry never shocks himself accidentally. Where did Jerry learn this? When did a mouse study electrical engineering? The answer is, he didn't. He's self-taught. He learned through observation, experimentation, and pure genius-level intelligence. Genius rank, Jerry has crossed into legitimate scientific knowledge. He's not just clever, he's educated. 14. The mirror trick. Optical illusions. One of Jerry's cleverest visual manipulations is the mirror trick. Here's how it works. Jerry positions a mirror at a precise angle in a doorway or corridor. The mirror reflects an image of an empty hallway or room. Tom, chasing Jerry at full speed, sees the reflection. He thinks the hallway's empty. He thinks Jerry ran straight through. So Tom runs straight through and crashes directly into Jerry's real hiding spot, which is directly in front of the mirror. Or sometimes the trick works in reverse. Tom sees Jerry's reflection and attacks the mirror, while the real Jerry escapes in the opposite direction. This requires understanding. Optics. How light reflects off surfaces at predictable angles. Geometry. Calculating the angle needed to create the desired illusion. Psychology. Knowing that Tom won't question what he sees. Timing right, positioning the mirror at exactly the right moment. Genius rank. Jerry is now using physics and psychology together. He's creating controlled illusions that manipulate both Tom's senses and his expectations. 15. Custom tool creation, improvised engineering. Jerry doesn't just use existing objects, he creates new tools. We see Jerry craft fishing rods to grab objects from a distance, grappling hooks, to climb or swing across gaps, zip lines, to cross rooms quickly, parachutes, to survive falls made from handkerchiefs, armor, protective gear from tin cans and thimbles, weapons, tiny swords, spears, and shields, vehicles, roller skates, skateboards, and tiny cars. Each of these shows problem identification, recognizing what's needed, resource gathering, finding materials, design thinking, planning the tool, construction skills, building it quickly, testing, using it effectively on the first try. Genius. Rank. Jerry is a master craftsman, engineer, and inventor all rolled into one tiny mouse body. Part 4. The psychologist. Emotional manipulation. Now, we enter perhaps the most fascinating and disturbing realm of Jerry's genius, his mastery of emotional manipulation. Because Jerry doesn't just outsmart Tom physically, he doesn't just outbuild him or out-engineer him, he outsmarts him emotionally. Jerry understands that Tom isn't just a predator. Tom has feelings, Tom has hopes, dreams, fears, insecurities, and vulnerabilities. And Jerry exploits every single one of them. 16. Faking injury to gain sympathy. Weaponized empathy. This is one of Jerry's most effective and ethically questionable tricks. The scenario typically plays out like this. Tom corners Jerry. The chase is over. Jerry has nowhere left to run. Tom's paw is raised, ready to strike. And then Jerry's entire demeanor changes. He starts limping, holding his chest, coughing weakly. His eyes get big and wet. He looks up at Tom with an expression of pure vulnerability. And Tom, despite being a predator, despite being moments away from catching his prey, hesitates. Because deep down, Tom isn't cruel. He's not evil. He's just doing his job. He's just following his instincts. And when Jerry looks genuinely hurt, when he looks genuinely in pain, Tom's instinct isn't to attack, it's to help. Tom lowers his paw. His expression softens. Sometimes he even tries to comfort Jerry, patting him gently or offering food. And in that moment of sympathy, in that brief window where Tom's guard is completely down, Jerry's injury instantly heals. Jerry springs to life, perfectly fine, and either escapes or launches a counterattack while Tom is still processing the betrayal. This trick works because Jerry understands empathy. He understands that Tom, despite everything, is capable of compassion. And he weaponizes that compassion without a shred of guilt. Genius rank, this is emotional intelligence at a sophisticated level. Jerry doesn't just understand his own emotions, he understands and manipulates Tom's. 17. Making Tom feel guilty. The suicide fake out. Sometimes Jerry doesn't fake injury. He fakes something far more psychologically manipulative. Suicidal despair. In several episodes, we see variations of this trick. Version 1, the goodbye letter. Jerry writes a note saying he's leaving forever because Tom has been too cruel. He packs a tiny suitcase. He walks slowly toward the door, head down, shoulders slumped. Version 2, the fake suicide. Jerry sets up a scene that makes it look like he's ended his own life. a noose hanging from a beam, Jerry dangling limply, but secretly supported by a hidden platform. Version 3. The I'm leaving forever. Speech. Jerry delivers a heartfelt monologue, in Mouse Squeaks Tom somehow understands, about how he can't take it anymore, how Tom has broken his spirit, how he's going somewhere he'll never be found. And Tom, who deep down cares about Jerry despite their eternal conflict, feels absolutely terrible. Tom's reaction is immediate and visceral. His ears droop, his eyes get watery, he looks genuinely devastated. He apologizes profusely, he tries to make amends, he offers Jerry food, a comfortable bed, promises to stop chasing him. Sometimes he even cries. And while Tom is drowning in guilt, distracted by his own emotional turmoil, Jerry either escapes completely or sets up his next trap. This is cold. This is calculated. This shows that Jerry understands the deepest emotional vulnerabilities. Tom's fear of loneliness, Tom's need for companionship, even if it's with his enemy, Tom's capacity for regret and guilt, Tom's fundamental good nature beneath the predator instinct's genius rank. This crosses from clever into genuinely disturbing. Jerry is manipulating existential emotions, life, death, meaning, guilt. This is therapist-level psychological insight. 18. Using Tom's pride against him, social engineering. Tom is vain. He cares about his appearance, his reputation, how others perceive him, his status among other cats. And Jerry knows this. And Jerry exploits it ruthlessly. Tactic 1. Public humiliation. When other cats are watching, Jerry makes Tom look foolish, trips him in front of female cats, makes him crash into things while trying to look cool, reveals his failures publicly, makes him appear weak or incompetent. Tactic 2. Attacking. His masculinity. Jerry will make Tom look cowardly, scaring him with fake dangers, making him run from tiny threats, showing that a mouse is braver than a cat. Tactic 3. Sabotaging his romance. When Tom is trying to impress a female cat, Jerry will ruin Tom's grooming, destroy his gifts, make him look foolish in front of his crush, reveal his failures. Tom, desperate to restore his pride and reputation, makes reckless, emotional decisions. He stops thinking strategically. He stops being careful. He takes unnecessary risks just to prove he's not a failure. And those reckless decisions, Jerry predicted them. Jerry wanted Tom to make them. Because emotional Tom is vulnerable Tom. Genius rank, Jerry is now a social engineer understanding not just individual psychology, but social dynamics, status, and reputation. 19. The friendship manipulation, the ultimate betrayal. In some episodes, Jerry does something truly masterful and truly ruthless. He pretends to befriend Tom. They shake hands. They play games together. They share food. They laugh. Sometimes they even save each other from danger. And Tom, lonely, isolated, desperate for genuine companionship, believes it. Tom lets his guard down completely. He trusts Jerry. He sees Jerry not as prey, but as a friend. Maybe even his only friend. And then, just when Tom is at his most vulnerable, when he's opened his heart completely, Jerry reveals it was all a trick. The trap springs, Tom gets hurt, Jerry escapes, and Tom is left not just physically defeated, but emotionally destroyed. This is beyond clever. This is beyond strategic. This touches on something genuinely dark. Because Jerry understands the deepest human and cat need, connection. Everyone needs companionship, everyone needs friendship, everyone needs to be loved and accepted. And Jerry exploits that need without hesitation. Genius rank. This is sociopathic level emotional intelligence. Jerry understands psychology so well he can create and destroy emotional bonds strategically. Part 5, The Master, Legendary Genius Moments. Now, we reach the peak, the summit, the absolute pinnacle of Jerry's intellectual capabilities. These are the moments where Jerry transcends ordinary cleverness and enters the realm of legend. These are the tricks that fans still discuss decades later. The moments that defined not just the show, but the entire concept of cartoon intelligence. 20. Outsmarting Spike the Bulldog, controlling the apex predator. Spike is bigger than Tom, stronger than Tom, more aggressive than Tom. and far more dangerous. In the hierarchy of Tom and Jerry's world, Spike is the apex predator. Even Tom fears him. But Jerry doesn't just survive encounters with Spike, he controls him. Jerry consistently manipulates Spike without ever getting hurt, using several sophisticated strategies. Strategy 1. The frame job. Jerry makes it look like Tom disturbed Spike, wakes Spike while making it appear Tom did it, causes damage that Spike blames on Tom, uses thrown objects that seem to come from Tom's direction. Strategy 2. Protecting Spike's son. Spike is fiercely protective of Tyke, his puppy. Jerry becomes Tyke's friend, makes it look like Tom is threatening Tyke, uses Spike's protective instincts as a weapon. Strategy 3. Audio manipulation. Jerry mimics sounds to control Spike, imitates Tyke crying, creates noises that suggest Tom is attacking, uses Spike's sharp hearing against him. Strategy 4. Spatial awareness. Jerry positions Tom in Spike's path, leads chases towards Spike's territory, times encounters perfectly, uses Spike as a living obstacle. What makes this genius is the layers involved. Jerry must 1. Understand Spike's personality and triggers. 2. Predict how Spike will react. 3. Position Tom at the right place and time. 4. Execute the manipulation without getting caught by either Tom or Spike. 5. Escape while both are distracted. This is 4D chess. Jerry is controlling a creature 10 times his size, using that creature to defeat another creature 10 times his size, and doing it all without either of them realizing they're being manipulated. Genius rank. Jerry has mastered the art of multi-party manipulation. He's not just outsmarting one opponent, he's orchestrating conflicts between multiple parties for his own benefit. 21. The Muscle Jerry. Formula: intelligence over power. In one legendary episode, Jerry drinks a mysterious potion that temporarily transforms him into a muscular, super strong version of himself. Finally, Jerry has physical power to match Tom. He could easily overpower Tom through brute force. But here's where Jerry's genius truly shines. He doesn't fight, like Tom would. Tom, when he has physical advantage, relies on direct attacks, overwhelming force, simple power moves. But Jerry, even with super strength, still uses leverage, maximizing force through physics, angles, striking from unexpected directions, momentum, using Tom's own movement against him, precision, targeted strikes instead of wild swinging, psychology, intimidation, and fear tactics. Jerry could just punch Tom repeatedly, but instead he demonstrates that his true power was never about strength, it was always about intelligence. He fights smart, not wild. Genius rank. This proves conclusively that Jerry's genius isn't situational or dependent on being smaller. Even with power, he chooses intelligence. Power T+, intelligence, Bach unstoppable. 22. Turning Tom's love life into a weapon, the long game. This might be Jerry's most sophisticated trick of all. When Tom falls in love with a female cat, conventional wisdom says Jerry should sabotage the relationship, make Tom look bad, ruin his dates, drive the female cat away. But Jerry doesn't do that. Instead, Jerry helps Tom with his romance. Jerry will help Tom groom himself, write eloquent love letters for him somehow, coach him on how to dance, train him to be more sophisticated, make him look good in front of his crush, sabotage Tom's romantic rivals. Why would Jerry help his enemy? Because Jerry understands something brilliant. A Tom in love is a distracted Tom. When Tom is focused on romance, he stops chasing Jerry as aggressively. His attention is divided, he's emotionally vulnerable, he makes mistakes, he prioritizes his love interest over catching mice. Jerry is playing the long game. He's sacrificing short-term opportunities, like ruining Tom's date, for long-term strategic advantage, a distracted, emotionally compromised Tom. This shows strategic patience, waiting for bigger payoffs, delayed gratification, not taking immediate revenge. Sophisticated psychology, understanding how love affects decision-making. Long-term planning, thinking weeks or months ahead. Genius rank. This is peak manipulation. Jerry is controlling Tom's emotional life, his priorities, his decision-making processes, and his entire worldview, all while making it look like he's being helpful. And now, as we reach the end of this calm, gentle journey through the mind of Jerry Mouse, take one last slow, peaceful breath. Let your shoulders fully relax. Let any remaining tension drain from your body. Let the warmth of nostalgia wash over you like a soft blanket. And let's reflect together on what we've discovered. Jerry isn't just a cartoon character, he's not just a mouse. He's not just comic relief or a cute mascot for a classic show. Jerry is a symbol of survival against impossible odds, a symbol of intelligence triumphing over strength, a symbol of never giving up no matter how big your opponent, no matter how many times you get knocked down, no matter how hopeless things seem. Jerry, tiny, vulnerable, always one wrong move away from being caught, has survived literally thousands of encounters with Tom through sheer, undeniable genius. We've seen him use physics, understanding forces, momentum, gravity, friction, leverage, engineering, building machines, traps, tools, weapons, psychology, manipulating emotions, expectations, social dynamics, strategy, planning multiple moves ahead, controlling environments, emotional intelligence, understanding fear, guilt, pride, love, loneliness, creativity, inventing solutions no one else would imagine. Adaptability, changing tactics based on circumstances, meta-awareness, understanding the very nature of his reality. Think about that for a moment. Thank you for joining me on this peaceful journey through cartoon genius. Thank you for taking this slow, relaxing exploration of one of animation's greatest characters. Thank you for remembering that childhood magic, that nostalgic warmth, that timeless lesson. Sleep well. Dream softly. And never underestimate the genius of Jerry Mouse. Because in the end, he's not just a character, he's an inspiration, a reminder that intelligence will always triumph. That creativity is the greatest weapon, and that even the smallest among us can achieve the most extraordinary things. Good night.